Welcome to our channel. This is Ashish here, and today we will discuss about the topic pharynx. So in this playlist we will see a series of video in which we discuss about the pharynx introduction. Later part of this video we will come to know that pharynx divided into three parts, namely the nasopharynx, oropharynx and the laryngopharynx. So one by one we will discuss about each part. Then we will discuss about the piriform fossa, which is very important topic in respect to the clinical point of view. Then discuss about the pharyngeal wall, the pharyngeal muscles and the vascular and the nerve supply, and end our topic pharynx. So first let's have an orientation of what pharynx actually is. So what you are looking here is a mid-sagittal section through the head and neck. So what is pharynx? Pharynx is a fibromuscular tube which is funnel shaped and act as a common pathway for both food and air. So the highlighted orange portion what I am drawing here is the pharynx part. We have posterior boundary, anterior boundary, superior boundary and inferior boundary, as well as the lateral boundary. So it acts a common pathway where the food enters through mouth and the air through the nose meets. So the arrow shows the entry of the food into a common passage, the orange one, and the entry of the air through the nose into the nostrils and enters into common passage, that is the pharynx, and separate out into the trachea. Before proceeding further, if you have not subscribed channel yet, please click on the subscribe button below and do subscribe and share your channel. So let's just start with the topic. So what is the pharynx? Pharynx is actually a fibromuscular tube. Means it's just a tube which is made up of muscles and some fibrous part. We will see what all the constituents of the pharynx under the heading of the pharyngeal wall. But let's have an introduction first. So what is pharynx? Pharynx is a fibromuscular tube. Fibromuscular tube, and it acts as a common channel for both food and water. So it acts as a common channel or common pathway for food and water. Common pathway for food and water. So you can guess by this function how important the pharynx actually is. If there is any obstruction in the pharynx, it will greatly lead to your impairment in the intake of the food or the air. So it is common pathway for food and air. If you talk about the shape of the pharynx, it's actually a funnel shape. So the pharynx shape is actually that of a funnel. So funnel has a base and a narrow end. Okay, so you can see here constriction. So I will tell you when we talk about the measurements where it is actually present, where this constriction is actually present in the pharynx. As we say, it is a funnel shaped body part. So we actually mean it because in the body, in actually it is present in the shape of a funnel. We have a constituent 1, 2 or 3 funnels. We'll come to know about it, what are the muscles of the pharynx and a more detail about the shape. So it is funnel shaped muscular tube or a funnel shaped fibromuscular tube which has a common pathway for food and air. So let's talk about the location. If you just recall the diagram that we discussed in the beginning, where the pharynx is located, it is located behind nose, behind mouth and larynx. So the pharynx is actually located behind the 2 openings, behind the nose and the mouth, that and is the larynx. So it's located behind mouth and larynx. So the pharynx is actually located behind the nose, mouth and the larynx. Now let us discuss about the measurements of what are actually the dimensions of the pharynx. So the length of the pharynx is about 12 to 15 centimeter. 12 to 15 centimeter. So from its beginning till the end, this whole length is around 12 to 15 centimeter length. and its width you can see in the base or the broadest part, it is around 3.5 centimeter, while at the constriction, this constriction, it is only 1.5 centimeter. So the width varies from 3.5 centimeter at base and around 1.5 centimeter near the constriction. So what is actually this constriction? This constriction is nothing else but the pharyngoesophageal constriction. So here the pharynx ends and the esophagus continues. So if you talk about the measurements, pharynx is about 12 to 15 centimeter in length and its width varies from 3.5 centimeter at the base to the 1.5 centimeter at the pharyngoesophageal constriction. So now the next topic we discuss is the boundaries. So before discussing boundaries, we will draw a diagram that will clearly help us to imagine the pharynx and its different boundaries, including the three subdivisions, that nasopharynx, oropharynx or the laryngopharynx. So let us discuss the diagram first, then we'll discuss about the boundaries of the pharynx. So this is the outline of the diagram that I was talking about. So let's add some more detail to diagram and look what all are the constituents of this diagram. So we are looking at the sagittal section of the head region, including some part of the neck. So this is the forehead. Here we have the nose projecting into the upper lip, the upper gums. We have the lower side, the chin. Then we have the neck below. On the inner side we have the oral cavity. In the oral cavity we have this tongue. And behind the tongue we have this projection which is called the epiglottis, which acts as a guard and controls the opening of the larynx. So here is the opening of the larynx, which is guarded by the epiglottis, and down here we have the tracheal tube, and behind we have the esophageal tube here. So let's draw some other features. So here we have the cribriform plate having the piers or sieve-like appearance. So here we have the anterior bones, here we have anterior bones. This is the cribriform plate. Here we have the body of the sphenoid. So this is the part of the sphenoid bone. This diagram of the sphenoid bone is very important because we are now looking at a sagittal section. The sphenoid bone appears like this. So you should know how the sphenoid bone looks, because the transverse section or the sagittal section of the head region is very important. So here is the sphenoid bone. Here is the prevertebral fascia, and behind we have the vertebral column. So here we have the arch of the atlas. So this is the atlas. So at what level you should draw? See, here is the hard palate and here is the soft palate. So at the level of the palate you should draw the arch. Here we have the C2 vertebra, then we have the C3, C4, C5, C6 and C7 cervical vertebra. Okay. So just at the front of the arch we have something called the passivant ridge. What is the passivant ridge? I will be having a separate video on this, so you can stay tuned by subscribing the notification bell. Here we have one more structure that is called the nasopharyngeal bursa. See, it is related to the nasopharynx, and here is a bursa, so the name is the nasopharyngeal bursa. Nasopharyngeal bursa. This is the passivant ridge. Passivant ridge. This is the palate, the hard palate and the soft palate. And here we have the palatoglossal fold. So what are all these structures? If you are having trouble remembering this, see, don't worry, because we are going to have a separate video or separate discussion on all this topic, that is the passivant ridge or the palatoglossal fold. So you do not worry, but just have a look, because we are not going to discuss only the nasopharynx, oropharynx and the laryngopharynx. At the lower border of C6 in the front we have the lower border of the cricoid cartilage. So here we have the cricoid lamina, and anterior side we have the arch of the cricoid lamina, and posterior side we have one more cartilage that is called the arytenoid cartilage. So we will discuss all these things, but this diagram you should keep in mind, because if the question on the pharynx is asked, this diagram is a must. So I will label them all. By the time, you also pause the video and try to label the structures that I have told. So I have labeled some of the structure that I told you. Here is one more labeling that you should know. Above the palate we have a tubal opening, which is the opening of the auditory tube. So here is the auditory tube. So this is auditory tube. And near the auditory tube we have the tubal tonsil. So I think you are quite aware of the diagram. So let's proceed on further with the boundaries of the pharynx. So let's start with the boundaries of the pharynx. So we have an anterior boundary. As you can see in this diagram, we have an anterior boundary, this anterior boundary. We have the posterior boundary, superior boundary, and an inferior boundary. So what all the structure constitute all these boundaries, we will see now. So let's talk about the boundaries of the pharynx. So we have an superior boundary, superior. So let's have a look at the diagram. What all structure constitute the superior boundary? So what is actually the pharynx part? See, here we have the pharynx part, all these structures. So at the back of the nose, mouth, and here is the larynx. At the back of the larynx, all this part is we have the pharynx part. See, superior part is, or the superior boundary is constituted by all these structure, which is formed by the body of the sphenoid and the base of the skull. There is one more bone which is called the occipital bone and its base, so which is also called the basi-occipit. So in superior boundaries we have the base of skull. See, because skull is present like this, so this part is constituted by the base of the skull. Then we have the body of sphenoid. Then we have the basal part of the occipital bone, or the basi-occiput. So this is the superior boundary of the pharynx. Now let's talk about the inferior boundary, or what all the structure limit the inferior side of the pharynx. So you can see inferiorly it continues into the esophagus. So here we have a constriction at the lower border of the C6. There is a constriction present which is called the pharyngoesophageal constriction. So this constriction constitutes the lower boundary of the pharynx, which is called the pharyngoesophageal constriction, or you can simply say inferiorly it is continuous with the esophagus. So it is continuous with the esophagus. And what is the vertebral level? You can check out in the diagram. It is the lower border of C6 vertebra. So this is the C6 vertebra and its lower level, or the lower level of the cricoid cartilage. Anything we can write? So we can write it is continuous with the esophagus at the level of lower border of C6, or you can say posteriorly and anteriorly we have the lower border of the cricoid cartilage. Why this is important? Because when we talked about the esophagus, we just mentioned that esophagus starts at the lower border of C6 where the pharynx ends. So this was all about the superior and the inferior boundaries. We have anteriorly some structures. So as you can see in this diagram, what all the structure constitute the anterior boundary. So anteriorly it opens into the nose, into the mouth, and into the larynx. So we have anteriorly it opens into three structures. That is, it is open anteriorly, it opens into. So anterior boundary is open, and it is open into mouth, first nose, mouth, and larynx. Now the posterior boundary. It's little difficult to understand the posterior boundary because there is no well-defined structure. Instead, we have a fascia. This fascia is called prevertebral fascia. Prevertebral fascia. So, because it is present in front of the vertebra, it is called the prevertebral fascia, and it has some adipose tissue as well. Why this adipose tissue is present? Because if we swallow some food, it will help in the easy movement of the pharynx. So we have the posterior boundary as a prevertebral fascia as well as a layer of the adipose tissue. So posteriorly we have the prevertebral fascia and a layer of loose areolar tissue. And what is the function of this loose areolar tissue? It helps in the movement of the pharynx without the friction. Since it is a tube, it has an anterior boundary, posterior boundary, superior and inferior. It has moreover the lateral boundaries which is cut out here. In this diagram, the lateral boundaries are cut out and removed. So in this diagram, you can't see the lateral boundaries. So I'm just telling the lateral boundaries now by the meantime, because this lateral boundaries will be more clear to you when we will discussing about the pharyngeal wall or the pharyngeal muscles, because the pharyngeal muscles originate from all these structures. So laterally we have some structure. You can guess, if suppose in the neck region, what all structure can we have? We will have the neurovascular bundle of neck, all the structure of arteries and nerves entering or leaving the neck region. So we have the neurovascular supply or the neurovascular structure. We have some bony structure like the hyoid bone, styloid apparatus. Moreover, it has some attachment to the mandible, tongue, and there are many more muscles and ligaments. So this was all about the boundaries of the pharynx. Now this whole structure is divided into 3 subdivisions on the basis of its location. So it is divided into 3 subdivisions on the basis of its location into the one of the nasopharynx, oropharynx and the laryngopharynx. Nasopharynx is present behind the nose, oropharynx is present behind the mouth, and laryngopharynx is present behind the larynx. And what level we will consider as a boundary, that we'll see, but you can have a rough idea. Below the palate we have the oropharynx, and above it we have the nasopharynx, and below the epiglottis we have a laryngopharynx, and above it we have the oropharynx. So this was just a quick intro. We will discussing in detail all these structures. First let's talk about the subdivision of pharynx. So it is divided into 3 parts, that is the nasopharynx, oropharynx and laryngopharynx. 3 parts or 3 subdivision. First is the nasopharynx, then we have the oropharynx, and we have the third structure that is called the laryngopharynx. So nasopharynx is present behind nose, oropharynx is present behind mouth or behind the oral cavity, and laryngopharynx is present behind laryngeal cavity or behind larynx. So now the next point is to discuss about all this subdivision. So we have discussed the laryngopharynx introduction. Now remaining is these 3 subdivision of the pharynx. So we will have a comparative study of all these 3 structures. Then we will discuss the rest of the remaining part. So if you like the video, please hit the like button and do subscribe and share channel. Thanks for watching.